next part we are here, please go check out the previous part to get your bearings. Why oh why would Cyril Ramaphosa sell the proverbial pipe dream of South Africa to be this excellent country in Africa that does an amazing thing? It is because they dropped the ball, they messed it up. Whatever it is that was their original strategy to get a whole bunch of power in Africa and in the world at large, after overcoming apartheid, it failed because of corruption. So now they are bailing themselves out with these alliances with other international bodies like China, like Russia, and like the World Economic Forum. South Africa is selling its soul because it failed to build a new South Africa. That's literally what is going on. Our leadership has been so corrupt that in the absence of international bailout, we are going to just crawl on the ground. So our leaders are buying a ticket in global arcs to be safe just in case they plunge the country. They've agreed to forget about their economies. How do you take a country over, mess up its economy, unravel it, literally that you sowed ka wool? They are unraveling, unhemming, unseaming, whatever the economy of the country because it is already destroyed. Initially, they wanted a bigger, better thing. They wanted a great South Africa. They wanted a South Africa that essentially could one day become a first world country. But their corruption made sure that's not possible. But instead of fix it, and also instead of admit that they made a mistake, instead of admit that they were wrong, they were corrupt, and so let themselves be taken out of the way that righteous leadership might run the show. They are like, no, I'm sorry, I am too selfish to let my country be built, correct my mistakes. What I'm going to do is sell it to the international community. Since we're all on some one world tip anyway, we're all headed towards it, so I might as well just sell out early. Therefore, South Africans, you can dream on, you can forget about some kind of a solution to correct the situation with a power crisis in the absence of your repentance, because this here is a spiritual matter. These are monoliths that are of a spiritual nature. They gotta be brought down, they gotta be assaulted, you've got some other false religion that you're running around in these streets. You are an incredible help, you get easily angry at God, and for those reasons you become green. Monawalona and your indiscretions have cost your country its viability as such a thing as that. We are literally going right back to the days of colonization, where white man rocks up and takes our inheritance, our heritage altogether, and gives us a brand spanking new identity. But this time around, instead of it being the British colony, and instead of it being the Netherlands, the Dutch colonizers, what it is are world global elite bodies that are being given our country at a price by men and women who refuse to step down because they've destroyed the land. That's what's going on. Christianity is dead in this country, I am telling you, because if you guys were actually truly saved praying, your prayers would be a fragrance going up the nostrils of Emmanuel, and he would have acted like a restrainer to prevent the wickedness of the ANC from spreading its wings and rearing its ugly head perpetually in a nation that really and truly is exhausted. This thing, he would have, on behalf of the 50, 60, 70, 100 South Africans that are serious about him, he would have saved the country. Instead, here it is that Christians can't breathe, they can't live, they are choking, meaning the rest of you have got some form of godliness that denies the power thereof. You have got a reputation for being alive while you are dead. There is no way the Lord would look upon a nation that has got godly, pious people in it and just abandon it to wicked leadership. Look at what's going on in the United States right now. Everybody is basically saying, well, this is a conspiracy and people are making it up and it's coming out from the buttocks of people. But Roger Stone is this one Okie that belonged to the advisory crew of who's this Okie? Donald Trump. And he spoke out because he belonged to the Republicans. He spoke out and said that he was highlighted. Somebody sort of kind of raised the fact that there was some portal over the White House. And he spoke about it on national television, and all the Democratic or liberal news networks butchered him and called him crazy. He needs to go and see a psychiatrist, and he should not be speaking in public television at all. But however, when the regular Jane and the regular Joe on the street goes and grabs a camera and looks up above the White House to see what this Roger Stone guy is talking about, it's there. You can literally see some kind of a vortex-y, strange cloud over the White House that is stagnant. It stays there. It defies the laws of nature. Clouds tend to get blown away by the wind. They come and they go, and they don't keep the same shape every single day. And there is a cloud over the White House that can be seen more so visibly at night, and especially if you put some kind of color correcting software on top of it, you can see that it looks like an actual wormhole, a vortex that is spinning over the White House. Its leadership has been handed over to its reprobate mind. There is some demonic force operating in the White House, therefore running the whole of the United States with satanic power. The country is judged. And Roger Stone went on to say the only way out of this gangster situation is for the American population to come together in prayer fast, essentially like Nineveh. Wear sackcloth, repent, wear ashes, and assault that thing with power. Close that portal with prayer. And they laughed at him. So South Africa is laughing at the proverbial Roger Stones in this country. We are telling you, Gunama portal all over the show. There's a portal over the union buildings in Pretoria. There is a portal over the president's house. There is a and you are like, you are taking your religious stuff extremely, but that's the thing, hey? Those of us who are called religious nuts and fanatics, we sound crazy until the outworking of condemnation on a country's entire economy happens. When the nation starts to fall like dominoes and physical evidences of a spiritual downhill small slope that we are on, when the physical manifestations of spiritual destruction start to show themselves and rear their ugly heads, that's when you're like, oh my God, what did you say? Is burning. The whole country is burning. You are 5 seconds away from the eternal lake of fire. All that is separating you from that fire is one prayer to seek the Lord's face to at least take you to heaven. Let me at least go into heaven since I destroyed my earthly abode. That's literally what you will have left, South Africa. That'll be the only and last thing that you have left when your economies are decimated. La della la papa. You are like the Laodicean church. You think you've arrived. You've got money. You've got jobs. Some of you. However, the middle class is being decimated. And in so observing other people struggling while you're not struggling, you just gaze upon them. Liba ignore. My life is a typical example. You can literally apply it representatively so with no bias to the whole country. Where there was one person amidst a bunch of middle class, snooty individuals that are doing absolutely nothing about a suffering person among them because they imagine the calamity is not coming to them. Kunjena, South Africa all over the show, most in an equal economy in all of Africa. It is being destroyed from the inside out and it is being sold over its heart to the devil. And none of the parties in this country, political ones at that, can be trusted. All they do is fight with each other, scratch one another's eyeballs out, throw bananas and peaches at each other in parliament, but do anything about it, actually, what is this, correct the situation on the ground? Oh, dream on. Nothing ever really truly gets fixed. So first, it is a decline in the standard of education, and then there was a skills exodus, and now there is an entire government selling itself to the devil that it might have for just one or two people, some kind of a slot in the proverbial Noah's Ark that is very evil, some kind of like security or safety that they've been promised if they can do this to their countries. Everybody knows that the World Economic Forum is on some Galilean dialectic model with countries. It literally wants to destroy economies of countries so they can make a one world system. Destroy them so we can fix them. So South Africa is a small little tiny bleep in the radar of the World Economic Forum. They're not going to stand for the rebellion of this bleeping country. So the approach, the knocking on the door by the satanic regime usually first comes to countries that have already kind of thrown themselves to the dogs. I found out, I was even reading a news headline where Zimbabwean students are being kicked out of South African schools. I don't even know why. So xenophobia is on the rise again. I don't know what the political reasons are for kicking out Zim students out of South African schools, but the country is dead. It is dead. Pelile ngabo. The only way out, Zinjandin, is uktandaza, zitobeni. Give yourselves back to Usomandla. He might just fix your country, or he'll take you out since he has decided to destroy this Sodom. Make out of yourself Lot, because that's literally what I believe is going on with South Africa. I don't think there's any hope for it anymore. Pelile. There's no more defibrillating. This thing has flatlined. It's over. So, galakatwa with your lives. Get out with nothing but your lives, like leaving Sodom. That's all you have left. Just like me. I'll get out of this country with nothing but my life. Gupelile. These power cuts akuzo stopper because China and Russia is in on it by Funa, and all of this like in front of your faces, fight, war, disagreement with Russia and the war in Ukraine that the bodies or the powers that be are in is, again, I believe, a Galilean dialectic. I feel like it's a facade. But I am not learned or instructed enough to go and make that conviction or that conclusion with any level of conviction. Sorry, yet. But the way it appears as if though there's no one here that is truly an enemy of anyone. Everyone is in on it. And the main primary agenda is to bring about a one world government. These presidents of ours, they work for the devil. And they will help in any means necessary, just insofar as they get a comfortable little cushy slot where they get to eat meat and have some really great properties and be happy, while the rest of us don't eat meat and we own nothing on our happy, and we get rid of our cars in exchange for electric cars that they're going to stop in the middle of the road just because we say something taboo on YouTube, which is hopefully the next part that I'm going to be doing. That's my last, because I don't have space here. Next part.